plugin. This is something we built at Mist Analytics. It's something we thought was still missing in Matomo, because Matomo is a very good solution to know how many visitors there are on your website, what pages have been visited, everything around the what, the where, and how much and how many, but not necessarily know the why visitors visit your website and asking for feedback on certain functionalities or elements on the website. So it's something that we thought was missing, and we built it at Mist Analytics to provide this for users of Matomo. It's only available for now in the on-premise environment of Matomo, because Matomo unfortunately doesn't offer the cloud environment to enable third-party plugins yet, but it's there. Yeah, and I'm going to share something about this setup and how to set us up the survey plugins, what kind of reports you will receive, how you can manage your submissions, what kind of functionalities are possible, and what kind of questions you could ask your visitors. And I have some examples of surveys that are currently live at some of our clients. And then in the end, we have room for some questions. I think I have around 15-20 minutes to talk, and we have plenty of time for some questions if you have. So let's start with the actual survey plugin installation. This is quite straightforward. It's just a zip file that you put into your Matomo on-premises instance, and you're able to get going. You get some additional functionalities and menu items in your Matomo instance. So I start at the settings area, where you go to settings, and then you have the survey settings here, which is being enabled after you installed the plugin. You can create surveys, you can manage your surveys, and you can manage submissions. But for now, we will start with creating a survey. So normally I click on create survey. Now I'm at manage surveys, and I see all my surveys that I already created right here. These are some examples. So one of the examples is the full survey, which is actually for this particular presentation. I will edit this one. I will see the same environment when I create a new survey, but now I edit a current one. So I will provide the survey with a name. I'm able to set a description, so it's pretty similar to what you do when you set up a Matomo goal or some custom reporting example. You also have setting a name and a description there. Then you're able to set the color of the actual survey. It works with hexadecimal colors. You have a color picker in there, and you also have some predefined colors, and you can search for any color that you would like, and you can set your actual survey colors in there. Then you're able to set the font color. A description is also being stated at the right, so a bit of explanation in the solution itself. For now, you have a white colored text there, font there, and we have the color of the button, and then the color of when you hover with your mouse over the button. So we set this to sort of light orange and darker orange when you hover over the button with your mouse. We also provided a way to set up specific classes for your Matomo survey, because when it pops up, you can also enable this class to inherit certain CSS values within your website. So you're able to have the same style and classes and HTML classes, and also the same CSS styles that your website design already has. So you can inherit this one in your survey as well, which is convenient, and we use this quite often actually. Then we go to the actual questions. You're able to set up additional fields here, so you can set up the entire flow of where your visitors go to when they navigate through your survey. And you can add certain fields here. So I can just click the green button and then add certain fields, and then additional fields are being added here. And I can add as many as I would like. So for now, I will remove this one and get to the other fields, which are already set there, and already explain the different unique kind of questions that you're able to ask within this survey solution. Sorry. So we have the field type stars. which enable you to set up a sort of rating in terms of star. You can set 1, 3, or 5 stars, in example, and then you have a bit of feedback from your users where they actually rate their experience or rate their purchase experience for you, or their how they behave and how they experience the website. You can even set specific classes again for a specific question if that's convenient for you or your specific situation. Then you can set up the label, and the label is actually the actual question that you ask to your users. So how would you rate us is the current question. Again, there's a description on the right, which is being set there. You can also state whether it should be required or not, because some questions might be possible for users to skip or just not answer at all, and some questions probably you would really need or require an answer to, and otherwise they cannot proceed within the process. So that's also possible to set up a required question. And you can set up a default value to explain a bit more what kind of things could be filled in there. An example, you have a default value with a start of a sentence. An example, I rate my experience as this or that, and then you can set a default value there, or you're able to do so. And you can obviously remove these fields as I just did for the new added fields at the bottom. So these are stars. I will show the demo and how this looks like in a couple of minutes. Then we have the smileys. It's pretty similar to stars, but then we have smiles, and we can ask visitors to rate their experience in sort of smileys. Perhaps you know this from Usabilla or Hotjar, other kind of solutions which are also apply this, and it's now also available in Matomo. We can set classes again. We can state another question. So how would you rate your experience so far? A required setting, and then also the default value is pretty similar to the other one, to the stars. We have a scale, so we can set up a sort of net promoter score or any other kind of scale rating, asking your visitors about certain feedback or certain ratings on specific elements or experiences on your website or online platform. And this is similar with classes and the actual label with the question again, but also setting a scale, of course, with 1 to 10, or I can set 1 to 5, or any other scale that you prefer. We have a text area. Text area is actually to provide generic input from users and asking them really about the why. So again, you can ask a specific question, of course, and then you can state how could we improve. So you really collect specific reasons or specific feedback from your users, and this could be very valuable to improve and optimize your website customer experience there, visit experience. Text area is a bigger text area to fill in, and we have a smaller text field to only have like a couple of words or a sentence to fill in. So text area is a bit of broader scope there. And we have radio buttons which have some already predefined answers and a sort of selective list, exclusive list that you ask your visitors to fill in. An example, this is just a simple yes or no. So are you able to find where you were looking for? And then yes or no. So this is already providing some feedback whether visitors are really satisfied or not, or can find what they are looking for or not. So this could be interesting as well. So then I can save and view it. For now, I'll get back to the overview, and then I set my colors, my design, and the survey settings can be found here. So when I go back to the manage surveys settings part, I can take a look at my full survey again, and I can see a preview here by clicking this one. And then I can see, like, all right, I see the different stars. I can navigate next and I see the different smileys that I set here. And I can see the different scales with also the questionnaire. How likely would you recommend us to your friends? So I can set and go back. I see the text area, which is just a test I can fill in here, and also a test here. How did you find us? So perhaps I say, all right, so if I Google search an example, And then I go back, furthermore, I mean, and then where you're able to find where you were looking for. Yes, I did, and then I can submit it, but obviously this is a demo environment, so this is like the settings environment of Matomo, so submissions are disabled, so you get an alert and then it's disabled, and you can set thank you for your feedback. Currently, it supports, we can change the languages. You can also change this by some script that's just triggering just before your actual survey pop-up triggers, and we'll probably enable more languages in the future to come by default. But for now, you can set your own language from the start, and then that's it. Or you need to change it in different languages later on. To trigger the actual survey, this is possible by using the Matomo tag management system. So here's the full survey as a tag. And as soon as you installed the Matomo Surveys plugin, you're able to have some additional functionalities, as we just saw in the settings environment. And we're also able to see an additional tag type then. So when I go to the Matomo surveys or to the Matomo tag management system, I see the survey tag in here. So we have custom HTML, which is always available, custom image, and then we also have surveys, and we can see what kind of things are being filled in there. So the tag type is surveys then, and we have a name, surveys then, and the description again, so name and description. We can choose from the list of surveys that we set in the that we created. So in the Matomo settings environment, we created multiple surveys, and then in the tag management system, we can choose which surveys to set, and then we can choose a survey here. So here is the different list, the entire list of different surveys. Let's say I'm just a yes or no simple survey. Let's choose one. And then I can choose any trigger. I only have 3 now in my demo environment, but I can create any trigger. And obviously, we know that with the Matomo tag management system, we are able to set different triggers. So when we create a trigger, we have a lot of flexibility with the Matomo tag management system, and we're able to trigger the survey pop-up at any time. Actually, we can even trigger it when someone is leaving from the window, or has reached a certain scroll depth, or reached a combination of how many seconds combined with a specific page of those kind of things, or clicked a certain element on the website, and add to cart, or click on a button or an element, and then we're able to trigger the survey at any time we would, at any moment we would prefer. So that's basically how we set up the survey and what it offers and what kind of options we have and how we can trigger it within the Matomo tag management system. Then let's go to the actual, the more interesting parts where we visualize the incoming data. So one of the reports that is being created as soon as you create a survey, a different reporting environment will be set within your dashboard, and then within your menu of the default reporting environment, and then you see the surveys section with all the different surveys in there. So we have different surveys here. For this example, I still stick to the full survey demo environment, which we set up. And then we have some example data here where we see the total survey submissions. So in a trend line over time, we see the different survey submissions. So we see how many people submitted a survey at all. And then we can export this data by default. This is like default Matomo functionality. So we can export the data in any way we would like. We can download it as an image or set different annotations in there, just like a normal trend visualization in Matomo works. And we see the total surveys being set here that are being submitted. Then when we scroll a bit more down, we see all the submissions. So the entire table with all the different answers that have been given by users. We see, so like an example, how would you rate us? We see the different answers that have been given by the smileys, the stars, and the different ratings, the scales. We also see the actual answers here. We see the different answers on the text area and the text fields. We are also able to see the radio buttons here. So are you able to find where you are looking for? And we see yes and no. And we see the different URLs that have been filled in. So from which, this is only one test page that we use on our website, but normally you would see like all the different pages from where users actually filled in your survey, which is quite convenient, because then you can already check whether people feel the need to fill in and leave their feedback to you. We added some columns in there, so we have the device type, browser, and the actual date that someone filled it in, also for exporting purposes as well. But we see the device type with smartphone and desktop, and the different browsers that have been used to from where users filled in your survey and submitted their feedback. We have some the surveys plugin offers some options to redact and hide, in example, sensitive data like the email address. This is an example here. Oh, sorry. So by default, it checks whether there are email addresses in the actual text area or text fields are being filled in, and it's going to hide them. It's also applicable to bank account numbers, so that's also hidden in there. That's done by default, and we'll probably expand this in the future, or if you have any very particular requests for this, we can definitely expand the filters on this and expand the functionalities on this for you. Again, as well, you can search in the answers, which is also a default Matomo visualization option within the table section. So we're able to search for specific answers in here, and we can obviously show more rows if we would like. So then we have the different rating parts, the rating questions regarding the stars, the smileys, or the scales. And we have additional visualization will be added per given question or per given field that you added within your survey. So as soon as you added these kind of questions within your Matomo survey, then these visualizations will be added there by default. So these are all reports that are that come out of the box as soon as you create a survey. We have a diagram here, and then we have a bar graph and a pie chart as well. We can change it to pie chart. And then we have the vertical bar graph, but we can also display the simple table again. By default, it will show the vertical bar graph, but we have different options in there to visualize as Matomo offers by default. We can export all these different visualizations as well. So you can also analyze it a bit deeper within in Excel or any other solution that you prefer, or export it and use the API of Matomo to retrieve it and get it into your data visualization solutions like Tableau or Power BI or any other solutions like Clickfolio or any other solutions that you prefer. Furthermore, we at the very bottom there is a summary, a trend again. So over time you can see for the different rating questions regarding the smileys, the stars, the actual scales, what the average is. So that's interesting, because then you can see if you improve certain things on your website, whether the experience has improved or not, or whether the feedback went from perhaps a bit negative to more positive from users, and that's interesting to see. So here we can see the average on like we have a 4, and then it goes a bit higher. Then we have a decline in here, and then it goes back to peak again. And we can see this trend line over time to see how it evolves over time, and how the customer satisfaction or the visitor feedback is hopefully improving over time when we make the website a bit better for each day. And on the very bottom, we have a summary of the total of with all the yeses and nos on the actual questions, are where you were able to find where you were looking for. So it's convenient for you to see straight away whether everyone was finding what they were looking for or not. Instead of you calculating it manually, it's already done for you. And we see the averages here as well regarding the rating questions in a table format. So that's how the default visualization looks like. And obviously, as mentioned, you were able to download it and export all the data and visualize or analyze it in any way you prefer. So that's it for the visualization part. And furthermore, we have some functionalities regarding the manage of submissions. This is also part of the settings area. And we added this because I just mentioned that we prefer to hide email addresses and those kind of perhaps sensitive data that could get in there via text areas or text fields, but it's depending on who users fill in. But in case there is some data in there that unfortunately came into your data set, then you are able to delete specific rows. So instead of with the managed surveys, you can delete your entire survey. So you get a pop-up and you get a question whether you would like to delete the survey, and it's also mentioning and checking it double with you, because all the submissions linked to this survey will be deleted from the Matomo UI, as well as from the database as well. So it will be entirely deleted. But for the managed surveys part, you can select a specific survey. So again, you can select from the entire list of surveys that you created, you can select a specific survey. And then you see all the different submissions in there. You can show more rows in here. But then you're able to delete a specific row, in example. So you're just able to delete this particular submission, and only this specific row will be deleted entirely, in case you really would need this. Then finally, I can show you an example of, this is like an example on our demo environment. You can visit it on this URL, and this is like basically the same that I just shown you, but then I'm really going to fill it in. So just a test, and then how did you find us? I find you via an email click or an example. I found what I was looking for, and then I submit it, and then I get thank you for your feedback, and then it's not shown against to me because it's being remembered at the actual in a local storage item. It's being remembered, and you get a form ID, and then you're able to see yes declined or yes filled in, and you can see your different forms in there. And then as soon as someone has this item in its overview, it's not the survey isn't shown twice to a given user on this given device in this given browser. So it won't annoy your visitors too much as soon as you have set it. You can also customize this, of course, within your Matomo tag management system. I just deleted the local storage item, so I see the survey again. And I was looking for some examples of some of our clients that are already using this, but some surveys didn't went offline. I found one for the Corona websites, for the COVID websites, the Dutch COVID websites, and they're still using our Matomo surveys plugin, which is being stated like, what are you looking for? Did you find it or not? And then asking for some feedback, and then you're using it on their websites, on their COVID pages. This is from the Dutch government. And then finally, if you would like to read a bit more or have a summary, I have a Medium item here, which is explaining the advantages. And then also a YouTube video was created, or feel free to add me to LinkedIn and ask some additional questions or some specific questions for your given use case. Yeah, that's it from my end. That was the demo of the survey environment, the survey plugin, and what it offers. Let me know if there are any questions. Thank you so far.
Thank you, Stefan. I'm looking at the chat and there is actually no question, but we can wait for a few seconds, few minutes in order to see if someone asks.
Fine. Yeah. And otherwise we end a bit early, I think.
Oh, no worries for the time. So we have 45 minutes slots, so we can do shorter. I just stopped the recording. There's still no question in the chat, so maybe we can say that the end of your talk. So thank you for the talk, Stefan.
Yes.
Very interesting. And hope you will stay for the whole events. And maybe
Yes,
if
yes.
someone have question later, you will be able to answer in the chat. So maybe you can check the room many times per day. Thank you.
Sure, no, it's fine. And thank you for moderating. And we'll be away this afternoon, but tomorrow I'm back, and then probably some hours this afternoon as well. But we'll be fine.
Perfect.
Yeah. Do you know, Ronan, how many people in total we have?
Oh, actually, no. And we are living in many platforms, such as Big Blue Button, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I don't have the statistics. Maybe just ask for Ronan Chardonnay.
Good. Screws. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye.